A new ruling from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals is set to reverse a Trump-era ban on bump stocks for firearms. The ban was put in place by the ATF in 2018, classifying all firearms with bump stocks as machine guns. Now, this ultimately led to thousands of law-abiding gun owners facing the prospect of becoming felons overnight. That was until one Austin, Texas gun shop owner filed suit. Michael Cargill is the gun shop owner that filed the suit in the case. Mark Chenoweth is his attorney and the executive director of the New Civil Liberties Alliance. Gentlemen, thanks so much for coming up. I do appreciate that. Michael, I'll start with you if I can. Walk us through what made you bring this case forward and how the ban on bump stocks impacted your gun shop. But really, as a gun store owner, you would have personal relationships, how this affected customers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you know, we lost power in our area, so I apologize for where I'm doing this interview. But yes, I'm actually a disabled veteran, and so I'm disabled from the military, and I want to use a bump stock mainly, for my wrist that has metal plate and several screws inside. But this case really isn't about guns. This case for me is more like civil rights. This is the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King, and this is about a right of all citizens, where our agencies within the federal government actually are stepping on, some of our rights here. We're talking about a federal agency that actually walked into someone's home, pretty much confiscated a particular item and said this item was banned and you can no longer own that particular item. So this case was actually personal for me on a civil rights stance, because it is for all of my customers. It's for me. It's for all of the United States, not just for a particular gun or anything like that. Let's say it's the EPA. Let's say it's OSHA. It's about any federal agency within the government or sub-agency within the government that actually decides to trample, just stand on your rights and walk into your home and ban something.
Correct. And again, this really set a precedent for, again, gun owners across America, soon to be gun owners, if you will. I want to get to the legal part, if I can, with Mark Chenoweth. Mark, this is what the court had to say in their ruling. A piece of it says, quote, Congress referred to the mechanism by which the gun's trigger causes bullets to be fired, and applying that definition to a semi-automatic rifle, we conclude that such a weapon is not a machine gun. So the question is, what legal jeopardy were law-abiding gun owners facing before the decision was made by the Fifth Circuit? And also, to be clear, the ATF legally entitled, or is the ATF legally entitled to ban entire classes of firearms without getting congressional approval or getting Congress involved?
No, Congress has not given ATF the ability to do those kind of bans, and yet it tried to do that here anyway. And that's why we're pleased that the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, by a 13-3 vote, this was the entire Fifth Circuit sitting, 13-3 vote, a vote that included judges both appointed by Republican presidents and appointed by Democrat presidents, decided together that the statute banning machine guns did not extend to a ban of bump stocks, and that ATF's effort to encompass bump stocks within that ban was unlawful and unfounded in the statute.
And Mark, final thoughts from you on this, and you kind of touched on it earlier, but what played out there in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals really, again, did not just affect you, but so many Second Amendment advocates out there, and again, gun owners across the states here, really keeping many of them out of what could have been legal trouble.
Well, there were 500,000 estimated owners of bump stocks at the time that ATF put this into effect. If you were to be found with a bump stock in violation of the regulation, it's a 10-year prison sentence, potentially a $250,000 fine. And of course, restrictions on future gun ownership could flow from that as well. So ATF was really doing something very severe here without congressional authority. We're pleased that the Fifth Circuit has put a stop to that, at least in the states of Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. This ruling has created a conflict with other circuit courts, ones in the 10th Circuit, the 6th Circuit, and the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. So we think that the Department of Justice may choose to appeal this case to the U.S. Supreme Court. We can't appeal it because we won, but we think that the Department of Justice may appeal this. Until it does, this decision only impacts Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi.
Yeah, that's, you know, Michael, I'm out of time, but that's where I was going to go with it. This could be, this very well could not be the end of it. You may see this story continue all the way to the Supreme Court. Michael Cargill joining us. Go ahead.
That's right. We're talking about setting precedents here. We're talking about this case. Cargill case is going to be the Bible for a lot of different cases that move forward.
Yeah, yeah. We'll continue to follow that. Michael, by the way, I hope you get your power back, buddy. So.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Michael and Mark. We appreciate it. Stephen King.